hindsight and you know something, you know, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, you know. But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
Everfrog Esports trying to find an angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. Whoa! White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh! Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga4 is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Linky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Blue manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio. That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back here to the CGL Season 17 playoffs. I am joined here this evening by Sky Knight for a very, very important elimination game. 2 teams that did not think that they would find themselves in this position this early in the tournament. SkyFlock versus EMC Chimera. Our Group 1's 1 seed versus our second group's 2 seed, Sky Knight. This game is massive.
Yeah, I mean, it's losers round 1, so whoever is just out, whoever loses this is just out immediately, right? It's not really the way you want the postseason playoffs to go at all. SkyFlock dropping 3-2 to OCMR, so close game, close break, unlucky to lose that game, but EMC Chimera maybe having a bit of a tougher time versus T4 Demons dropping 3-0 to them. But whoever does win this will get a game against Cartel and potentially OCMR if they are able to beat a void list in losers round 2, in losers round 3 later down the line. But for now, these 2 teams need to be on their A game if they want any chance of progressing in this tournament.
Yeah, this one is super duper important, but that's just how the playoffs roll. Speaking of the playoffs, we've got couple more games after this one in a few hours. On the NA side, Emerald Eagles versus EIG Assassins, and Team Prosperous versus Monolith to close out the night. A few of those NA games going on tonight. Super exciting. But Sky Knight, you know, we were talking about these matchups before. Get a quick look at this bracket.
Yeah, so you can see SkyFlock and EMC Chimera, losers round 1. You see OCMR in that, losers round 2 versus a void list. So I think SkyFlock in particular, they're going to be hoping they can overcome EMC Chimera. They're thinking, you know what, we had the better upper bracket, we had the better winners round 1. And, you know, even though T4 Demons did win 3-1 versus OCMR, I think SkyFlock can be a little bit confident going into this game, particularly as they are, you know, Group 1, Seed 1. So I think they can be confident, and then confident that they can overcome Cartel and get that rematch with OCMR just to try and make the lower bracket run all that more glorious. But EMC Chimera, you know, like I said, T4 Demons did beat OCMR, so in terms of, like, you know, the hierarchy, I suppose, you might think, okay, well, maybe EMC Chimera didn't do as good just because they were playing a better team. So only way we'll get to figure this out is by seeing these 2 teams get into it. But honestly, I think this could be a really close game.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams are kind of looking shell-shocked by, you know, losing to these lower seeded opponents, right? It's never an easy thing to deal with when you're coming in as one of these higher seed teams, right? I mean, the 1 and 2 seeds, right, in their respective groups, losing to, you know, a 3 and a 4 seed, it's kind of shocking when, you know, especially as dominant as SkyFlock has been throughout the regular season and into this playoff bracket. You know, they clearly were not expecting to be here so early. So it's going to be, I think this game's going to be decided by, you know, which of these teams can bring the mental down, take a breath, realize, hey, things happen. You can't win every game. We just need to keep playing.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see that first map on the docket is going to be Lijiang Tower. I mean, not too much surprise there in my opinion. Lijiang Tower is generally the more popular map, definitely more popular than maps like Busan, Nepal, and Samoa, even though as much as I do like a good map like Samoa. But Lijiang Tower, pretty standard pick, but I think what's more interesting is what the teams are going to be looking to ban here, because it is a best of 5 series, so you don't want to waste maybe too powerful of a ban too early, but at the same time, you gotta make sure your ban actually means something, right? Maybe you don't want to waste the Kiriko ban on map 1, but at the same time, you want to get off to a strong start, and EMC Chimera are going to be starting us off with the bans at the moment.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that these teams, like I've been saying, we're not in the same group this season, right? So they have not played each other. They don't really know how, you know, each of these teams wants to play. So this is going to be, in my opinion, like a feeler ban. Try and ban something. We're going to get a bat ban from EMC Chimera. I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that is, you know, just a throwaway ban to try and get a feel for what SkyFlock are going to be bringing out here as SkyFlock begin their ban phase.
Yeah, the bat ban, I think it's a decent ban they could have went for, right? If they don't want to ban the Kiriko or like or the Ana, maybe, you know, a more carry kind of flex support. Obviously, you can carry on Baptiste, but generally speaking, teams will want to play, you know, Kiri Lucio, Ana Brig over something like a Bat Brig or a Bat Lucio at the moment, I would say. Particularly given how strong characters like Diva can be, you know, you might want to just play with the Kiriko instead. The Bat ban is good, but the Pharah ban, I actually don't hate that either. Pharah got a recent buff this season, meaning her one-shot combo is back with her major perk, combined with the 50 concussive damage from the minor perk. So I don't hate the Pharah ban at all, particularly if SkyFlock are not interested in running that Pharah.
Yeah, I don't hate that ban at all here. Coming into this first map, we'll get a quick look at our competitors though. First up is SkyFlock here. Indra and Munkek on the DPS line, Galaxy on the tank, and in that back line, Izuya and Eric. Like I said, this team definitely did not expect to be here this early in the bracket, going down in the first round. Gonna look to try and bring it back all the way through the lower bracket.
Yeah, definitely, but they're not the only team playing today. EMC Chimera also up, and on their team they got Saikora and Tom Makita on the DPS, Ikaj on the tank, Imperator and Octo on the supports, and I'm liking the favorite heroes that I'm seeing here. Nothing too awfully silly, I would say, because we get to see both lineups at the moment in just a second. But the Tracer, I do quite like seeing like someone favoring a Tracer, because it implies, you know, they're going to run the Tracer. I mean, we saw Indra also favor that Tracer as well. So some good Tracer duels I'm hoping we'll get to have a look at here.
Yeah, you know, EMC Chimera, they are definitely the more storied of these two squads right now. I love to see that Octo is all smiles right there as we get a quick look at our our first player cam here. Good to see the energy that EMC Chimera is bringing. This squad has been around for so long. Sakoka, Tonmikita, Ikaj, that core has been around for years. So as we get ready to head into this first map, it's going to be you know, a very awkward position for both of these teams being here so early. But, you know, you got to think EMC Chimera's history and experience is going to play a factor in how well they play today.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, the more experienced team definitely does have, like, an upper hand. I suppose I also love that it would be the main support that has the camera on looking all buzzing, you know? I mean, it's just like, I feel like it's just a main support thing to do, I don't know. But, yeah, the more experienced team generally does have a bit of an upside, I would say, in these kind of games, because you're more used to being in more uncomfortable positions, you're more used to being in, you're more used to having to fight your way back, because every team has their ups, every team has their downs, right? So I think there is a bit of an advantage for the more experienced team in this matchup. But that just doesn't just mean that you're gonna win outright just because you've played more, just because you're more known. It can work. It can even work against you in some ways. I mean, we touched on it. The teams that are, you know, high seed, there is an expectation that they're going to perform. So when they don't, you can get rattled a little bit easily. You can be like, okay, well, why are we trolling? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? If you're the more experienced team, it can be a byproduct of that, and it may end up working against them.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of work to do here. There's a reason we don't just hand over the trophies, right? It's always a very interesting thing. Like, you just see the Overwatch being played, right? You just see the game being played. You're never really in the minds of these players. You're never in the VC. You're not telling them what to do, right? So it's always interesting to think about that kind of stuff that, you know, you don't really ever get to see. But now finally getting ready to head in here to map number 1. EMC Chimera SkyFlock will begin here on Lijiang Garden.
Yeah, and both teams looking to just go for a bit of a standard comp right now. You'd imagine ECAJ, okay, well, that's a bit of a shock. The Marga pick is in there. I don't know how long that'll last, given that there is a D.Va on the other side. Indra probably going to swap over to the Tracer after the TP out of spawn. Main difference in the comp right now, of course, aside from the Marga, is this Emre Sojourn battle. So Monkek W clearly favoring that Sojourn over the Emre, but into the Marga, it might be a little bit difficult if ECAJ is able to get on them.
Alright, here we go. Map number 1, elimination game here for both of these squads. Right now, EMC Chimera holding positioning over the objective, rotating around and over the koi pond is SkyFlock here. ECAJ trying to get these ignites and critical hits coming, but it's Izuya finding that first pick. Mikita does dispatch of Galaxy's mech though here, as the rest of SkyFlock will be looking, but without the tank in this fight, it's going to be damn near impossible to get back in here, so SkyFlock will have to just disengage.
Yeah, I honestly don't actually know how Galaxy goes down there on the D.Va. I think Arik and Izuya may have been preoccupied with Psychoia on the Tracer on the off angle, but honestly, let your Lucio Tracer fight that off angle. Give a little bit of space if you have to, and then go back in later with your boosters. But works out for EMC Chimera quite well here.
Back in here, sending their mirror image a little bit flying there was Octo. Nice little cleanse out as Galaxy has returned on that Mauga and is immediately sent back on that Mauga, and EMC Chimera looking great with their feet planted here.
Yeah, honestly, I think I don't even think it's a healing issue at the moment. Galaxy is just kind of getting exploded, to put it lightly, because Arik already has the Kitsune Rush ready to go. Imperator only around 70 to 80% of the way there. Saikoka does have that pulse bomb ready to go. Tom Mikita is coming up on the override protocol as well, but Arik could just start with Kitsune here.
Well, speaking of that Kitsune Rush, the Tom Mikita override protocol will come out and get a little bit of damage in, and Galaxy finally getting the better of ECAJ. The override protocol not going to find much of value there for Ton Mikita, unfortunately. Kitsune Rush puts them well ahead in the flight, and SkyFlock will find their opening.
Yeah, at that point, if you get inside, the override protocol can't actually do too much, and the value of the Kitsune is way higher than the value of the override protocol. But the problem now is that EMC Chimera, they're 88% on the point. They have double support ult. ECAJ is close on this cage fight as well, and there's a 20% beat lead for Octo right now.
Here we go, Kitsune Rush from the other side. Octo dropping the sound barrier to make it even more difficult to get through them. Now, here is the cage fight from Galaxy, and I mean, ECAJ also dropped one of their own, but just gets eviscerated in the process.
Yeah, the ults were just stacked too similarly there by EMC Chimera. Imperator drops the Kitsune, then Octo immediately drops the beat after. Needs to be layered a little bit better because Izuya manages to clutch up and builds that beat in the nick of time to save his team. The EMC Chimera, they have nothing left at the moment as Arik's already halfway to another Kitsune Rush, as EMC Chimera just decide to stage around the right hand side yet again, but the Suzu's forced early.
Eric going down, so that Kitsune Rush will not be building for too much longer, but Galaxy just running into the backline there of EMC Chimera, able to stomp out on Mikito, returning it to the fight here. Both these Malgas healing so much of their own HP, but eventually it is Galaxy that comes out on top, completely flipping the script here of this game on the Malga.
Yeah, we're struggling at the start on the Diva, but it's gone to this Malga, and the SkyFlock team just look a lot more stable at the moment, and Indra has this Pulse Bomb ready to go, could just look to end the fight before it even begins, because he might need to, because Arik, sure, you're close to the Kitsune, but if Tomikita uses this override protocol well, could be dangerous for SkyFlock.
There is a lot of damage into that Malga with the Pulse Bomb. That damage reduction not nearly enough for Ikaj. And I mean, SkyFlock completely running it back here. Was down 88-0 at one point. Now they complete this first submap here of Garden, take the lead on Lijiang.
Yeah, completely turn it around there. Almost felt like it went from one of those games where it's just like 0 to 99, 99, 99. But it felt like EMC Chimera, once they lost the point, they couldn't get back in, right? And the way you do that is by using ults. We saw SkyFlock do it, this fight in particular. Look at Tomikita, he's just in enclosed areas. This is not the strength of Override Protocol. Override Protocol is strong because you can take infinite angles with it. You can fly, right? It's like why Freya was strong over Sojourn when she first released. You can take such creative angles on the character. You can do so with Override Protocol as well. But when you're trapped inside and the enemy team is forcing you to fight close range, it loses a little bit of its value. You become a little bit more vulnerable. And the value of a Kitsune Rush absolutely skyrockets in those kinds of environments, particularly when you have a Moga like Galaxy who just completely turned tight matchup on its head after those first couple fights.
Now Sakoka on the Reaper here as we head into the control center. I mean, Ikaj has just continued to look so wildly uncomfortable on this Amalga, so low at all times as the picks just keep rolling through here for the side of SkyFlock, now finally looking like the 1 seed that we know they can be.
There we go, SkyFlock continuing their streak at the moment. Indra going absolutely crazy on this Tracer. I have to be honest, Saikoka's realized that Tracer might be the move. The Reaper, sure, it can help in the front line, but you can't really mark out the enemy Tracer, and when Indra's doing this much, you kind of have to. Tracer 1v1 currently in the server room. The recall's forced. But the rest of the team is just fighting in the front line right now. I think Saikoka's doing a good job right now. Mark out Indra, who's already doing so much.
Recall from Saikoka there. They know where this Tracer's at, so they're going to try and keep Saikoka, as the flip actually does come through without much of a fight actually occurring. As, oh my goodness, speak of the devil, Indra! 2 blinks, 2 punches, 2 KOs, and a bit of a paltry pulse bomb there from Indra will find the pick in the end. 3 picks, you know, there was a little bit of a hiccup there in the middle of it, but still an excellent play.
Well, ignore the pulse bomb for the sake that, you know, when Indra wasn't in the fight, EMC Chimera actually took some space away from SkyFlock. Maybe SkyFlock gave space on purpose, maybe that was the call, but the point still stands. Indra was not in the fight, and EMC Chimera got space, but as soon as Indra came back, there was space for SkyFlock. Okay,
exactly what EMC Chimera was looking for. They got the Kitsune Rush out, but it was just a split second too late, and Monkek is gonna try with this overclock, but there's just not enough time.
Yeah, I guess a couple of nice little kills, lovely little 360 onto Saikoka right there, but not nearly enough, but it does manage to get a few kills, but the double cage fight is there.
Hang on. Yeah, the cage fight comes through as well as the override protocol. It's just, you know what? That overclock actually found value. There were 2 players that were still dead in that fight, and SkyFlock just run in so quickly and find their time to fight.
Yeah, I mean, whoever made that call to just go in needs to be credited right there, because Monkek does manage to get a couple of kills. You know, they seem kind of irrelevant, but it gives SkyFlock the space, because it'll be a 4v3, right? You only lost your Sojourn, the rest of your team is respawning, and Indra does have this pulse bomb, and that's a scary ult to have when Indra's been playing like he has so far.
There's the pulse bomb, unfortunately not connecting there, so Saikoka will actually get the better of that Tracer duel. Octo, though, is the trade. Sakoka does have this Pulse Bomb now on the other side, looking to take the fight to Indra, who's returning from spawn. Pulse Bomb ready to go. Doesn't want to waste it on Monkek. That low does get the healing health pack there. Flip is coming through. They're just going to let it happen. They are at 99% here for SkyFlock, so not too pressed on the time. They just need to find the proper time to actually engage in this fight. Gosh, getting very, very low. The Kitsune Rush coming down from Eric. Now is their time to fight. Flip comes back through. That'll be a touch there.
Hurts close to Kitsune.
Yeah. Here is the sound barrier from the side of Izuya, and they found exactly the timing that they needed. There might be some pressure on the point from Saikoka, but it's only Saikoka. So SkyFlock will be able to come through here onto this Mirror Mauga composition and find the win here on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and that's not too ideal if you're EMC Chimera, right? You started on that Mauga comp, so you're thinking, or that implies that, you know, they're comfortable on that. That's what they kind of want to run going forward. But it ends up just getting mirrored, and they kind of just get bowled over, particularly on first point here on Lijiang Garden, right? Even though it felt like they had the deck stacked in their favor, they had so many ults, SkyFlock were able to build their ults and managed to initially withstand the pressure of the Kitsune and the sound barrier, right? Izuya built that beat, was absolutely massive, then Galaxy went for that gamble, got that cage fight off, ended up going SkyFlock's way massively there, and even in that final fight, the ult management from SkyFlock and the knowledge, the tempo from SkyFlock is very, very strong, right? Because they knew that Eric was coming up on the Kitsune, so they waited, let the point flip, went in with Eric's Kitsune. They knew that Imperator would have his Kitsune, right? So they let EMC. That was disgusting from Indra. This pulse bomb was also a bit disgusting in a different way, but we won't dwell on it too much. This was ridiculous as well. It's like a 360. Boom! That incredible from the DPS. But Imperator builds his Kitsune, but then on the other side, the ults are back for Izuya and Galaxy, right? So always ends up going SkyFlock's way, the ults, I feel, and that is, it's not luck, it is just good ult management from SkyFlock.
Get a look at our stats here, and I mean, it's clear who won this round, right? I mean, EMC Chimera had a really, really good early game, but I mean, yeah, once SkyFlock finally solidified a game plan on the Mauga, there was really just no coming back from it for EMC Chimera. They're gonna have a little bit of time to try and determine if the Mauga is really the play. Not traditionally considered the strongest tank in the game right now. So they're gonna have an opportunity to take us to a map where they can maybe change up the game plan and try and force SkyFlock onto something that's a little bit more uncomfortable. But as map number 2 is going to be Suravasa, I can't imagine seeing anything but the Mauga at this point.
Yeah, I think Mauga either just gets picked by both teams or banned here, to be honest. That's kind of the only way I don't see Mauga getting picked. As for EMC Chimera, they could ban the Mauga, but given that they rolled out on it, I honestly don't think they will. If I'm being honest, I think they want to try it again because they got 88% on that first point. You know, I feel like they just kind of got out-momentumed a little bit on that first point, and then the second point, I think they'll just treat it as a bad day at the office at that point. So I think they'll maybe try to stick with the Mauga. I don't think they'll ban the Mauga. I think it would actually be SkyFlock. They'll ban the Mauga if it even does end up going. But EMC Chimera, I'm honestly not sure what they could go for. They could try ban the Kiriko if they wanted, but I think Imperator was playing quite well on the Kiriko. Maybe they go for a DPS ban. Maybe they try ban out the Tracer or something. You know, Indra was doing so much on that Tracer. You could ban out the Sojourn because, okay, well, there is the Sojourn ban, yep. Obviously, EMC Chimera favored that Emre Tomikita never went over to the Sojourn. And on the other side, Monkek was on the Sojourn, managed to get a couple of big plays. But SkyFlock, I think they could go for, well, they need to go for a tank or support ban, right? But I think they could go for a Mauga ban, but given how well it went on that last map, they might not want to.
I don't see it. I don't see it coming through. I mean, with the ban onto the DPS, because that's really the only difference that these teams are working with, right? Is that DPS pick is Sojourn versus the Emre. It's awkward. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, I'm happy to be wrong here. Malga, the ban here for the side of SkyFlock. You know, I guess ultimately they did look very, very strong once they found their footing on the Malga on Lijiang Tower. But when it comes down to it, like you said earlier, EMC Chimera came out on the Malga. That's what they wanted to play, and I can assume that will continue to be what they want to play as we head into this map. So take away the comfortability for EMC Chimera, and whether you're on the Malga or not, whether you looked good or not, the goal is to get to a 2-0 game lead here. Put you on match point in this elimination game, and you'll find yourself in a very strong position.
Yeah, I think the logic for SkyFlock right now is just go 2-0 up, right? It's as dumb as it sounds, it's like, oh, yeah, obviously you want to win maps. I think it's like, worry about going 2-0 up right now, put the pressure on EMC Chimera, make them feel hot under the collar, and just try win off momentum from that point. Even though SkyFlock did look quite dominant on that map, I think that's kind of the goal at the moment. As EMC Chimera, they have gone for a little bit of a different comp. Venture and Zarya, not really something you see every day, the Venture in particular at the moment. Zarya, of course, is still strong, but after the Vendetta nerfs has seen a little bit less playtime compared to things like the Diva, Hazard, or even Ramatra at times. But Monkek, with that Sojourn ban, is going over to the Ashe, and I don't hate this pick overall, to be honest.
Octo under a lot of pressure there, and the micro missiles will claim them. Galaxy on the low ground, making sure that nobody can get through these choke points. As SkyFlock takes the first flip here, we're going to see a little bit of an engage there from Saikoka, but with Ton Mikita falling down there, I mean, they're just corralling this EMC Chimera squad into this later spawn.
Yeah, I do think that Izuya does go a little bit deep there. Perita gets a nice kill into Indra, and it looks like EMC Chimera just kind of overrunning SkyFlock at the moment. They got a bit too over eager there. You know, the Tracer Lucio, you can go pretty quick, you can try dive the enemy hit scan, but it wasn't feasible there. Saikoka just comes back and peels for his team Ikaj there as well. And EMC Chimera, that's not where you want to fight. That's not where you want to fight against them, you know? They're trapped. If you're trapped in that little room, you don't want to be against a Venture in there. You don't really want to be against a Zarya in there. I mean, heck, you don't even want to be against an Emre in there with his nades and Siphon Pistol as SkyFlock. They're going to have to find a way back onto this point.
Good corner check. You'd think we're playing Valorant, but Monkek is actually going to explode it to the very same person that they checked out there. Indra looking for a pick. Will not find it. In fact, getting picked on the other side. EMC Chimera taking advantage of the mistakes SkyFlock have made to take a pretty commanding lead here on this point.
Yeah, and the nature of Flashpoint is that you don't actually get many opportunities to contest the objective. You know, EMC Chimera, they're already it's pretty much final fight territory right now, and Imperator has that Kitsune advantage.
That Kitsune rush comes down. Ikaji able to chase down Monkek. Now Octo versus Eric. Octo realizing that it's kind of an awkward position to be in. And Eric does have a Kitsune rush of their own that they're going to invest here, as the picks actually did come through. Galaxy, what a boop, actually, to put that self-destruct out of a position. That's, I guarantee, not where Galaxy wanted that ultimate to be at. We're going to see the Graviton Surge, and posthumously, Ikaji going to get that alt-fire kill on to Monkek, and it will be a point capture locked up here for EMC Chimera. A very scrappy fight to close it out.
Yeah, and Octo is kind of the MVP of that fight, in my opinion. Has the instinct to drop the beat. We see him in all his glory right there. Has the instinct to drop the beat, saves his team, allows Ikaj to build that grab as well, manages to, like you say, grab that Cassidy, take down Monkek. And, I mean, Monkek, if he was in that fight, could have made a bit of a difference, but Octo helps, lands that boot.
Way too deep.
Goes down though early.
Wait, Galaxy taking the attention of 3 players, letting 2 players go down in the process for the side of SkyFlock. uncomfortable position here for EMC Chimera. Will be able to find the flip and continue to roll this one forward for SkyFlock.
Yeah, and Tom Kita, all he can really do is hold S right now, and it's not going to be enough as Monkek hinders him and then takes him down quite easily with the all-powerful mouse 1 button on Cassidy. A couple of nice shots there from the SkyFlock Cassidy, as SkyFlock do have three elements available. They have the beat and double DPS ult, Pulse Bomb, and Deadeye. Bomb is close for Galaxy. Arik is getting close on this Kitsune rush, but EMC Chimera, they have the override protocol, and they're coming up on the Kitsune. I think EMC Chimera have the stronger ults, SkyFlock have more.
Here we go. Override protocol invested here from Ton Mikita. D.Va trying to deny as much as possible, but this override protocol popped by the Deadeye of Monkek. Good for 4, and definitely got a piece of Octo there. Call that a quintuple kill for Monkek.
Clutch king right now for SkyFlock. I said that, you know, EMC Chimera maybe have the stronger ults, but not if the Deadeye is used like that. Wraps up 2 kills and wraps up SkyFlock's first point for them. You do use a couple ults if you SkyFlock, though. It's a decent trade for EMC Chimera in terms of ultimate economy. All that SkyFlock have now is that Kitsune and that D.Va self-destruct. EMC Chimera have the Kitsune, which they could mirror if they wanted.
Here is that Kitsune rush from the side of SkyFlock. Right now, EMC Chimera just playing it safe here. Just going to let this ultimate go away. They've got 15 seconds until this point unlocks. Don't need to take the early fight. Imperator dropping their own Kitsune rush, getting rid of Monkek. And EMC Chimera played that beautifully, waiting for the right opportunity, getting in and getting this first flip.
Yeah, and that's textbook stuff from EMC Chimera right there. Arik's Kitsune wasn't the best, if I'm being honest. It didn't really go onto the backline whatsoever, and Imperator's was the exact opposite. And now EMC Chimera have a few ults to work with. They have 3 ults basically available right now.
Oh, very, very stressful sound barrier there for the side of Octo. And the Graviton Surge will clean up this fight. The self-destruct to get back into the mech. You know, maybe a little bit of an overinvestment into a lost fight. Galaxy does get rid of Ton Mikita, but the stagger going to be in play.
Oh, didn't even go for the reset. Tried to build the remake. Just honestly, you just got to jump off at that point. You just got to take the reset, get going quickly, because now you're in a really, really dire spot, right? EMC Chimera 70% on the point at the moment. Still have the tectonic shock. Does Psychoka. Indra does have the Pulse Bomb, and Azuya has the beat, but the Pulse Bomb's offline already.
Yeah, that's horrible for the side of SkyFlock. Losing out on Indra at 90%. This D.Va also losing the mech. I mean, that's essentially this point belonging to the side of EMC Chimera. Just no chance.
Yeah, Psychoka locking that up early, and then of course Galaxy has to try walk in because his Tracer is not going to be the one to touch anymore, and of course walking straight into a Zarya is never what you want to do on a D.Va, right? One of the few things you don't want to do, and Galaxy's feeling the pain. Goes over to the Orisa, and the last time he swapped off D.Va onto a ground tank, it went very, very well for SkyFlock. So we'll see if it goes the same way as it's 0.4 on Saravasa at the moment. 2-1 to EMC Chimera, and they still have the Tectonic Shock available coming up on the Override Protocol as well.
Alright, here we go, Garden. Map point here for EMC Chimera to even up the series at 1-all. You're going to see the Override Protocol from Ton Mikita drops Pulse Bomb as well. Somehow not sticking on it to anybody, but it will be Galaxy good for a couple. Psychoka and Ton Mikita trying to even the score here, but SkyFlock will be able to take control of the first flip here of Garden.
Yeah, and EMC Chimera, they do commit a few things there. They commit double DPS ult. Sure, Izuya used the beat, Indra used the Pulse Bomb as well, but it's not like SkyFlock have nothing left in the bank. They have the Kitsune, which can be mirrored by Imperator, but Monkek has a free Deadeye at the moment, and we saw how the last one went. Double kill.
Alright, yeah, building up this charge to try and take care of this Orisa, who has almost got the Terra Surge already. Looking very, very unhealthy, but I mean, low health just doesn't matter to an Orisa who can get that fortify back super quickly with the help of the Kitsune Rush. And now SkyFlock at 70%. It's almost certainly just a point capture here.
Yeah, the only way it's not is if Octo builds this beat and Ekash builds this grab, and they're both absolutely massive. But I could see EMC Chimera maybe just giving this up, but no, it doesn't look like it. Psychoka's maybe going for the touch here, but it's going to be hard. Galaxy just holds the fort with the Terror Surge.
There will be a touch in from Psychoka, but...
Off the map!
Yeah, that's... Yeah, okay. I'm just glad they didn't invest anything there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that would have been really rough if Ekash, like, Octo drops the beat and then Ekash immediately just takes a dip in the pond. But thankfully, EMC Chimera don't use anything there. But SkyFlock, they do use 2 ults. They use double DPS ult. Indra goes for the pulse bomb. Monkek uses the Deadeye. Maybe not necessary given Galaxy's spear. The Galaxy does have that Terror Surge. Octo has the beat ready to go, and Ekash basically has grab at this point. So EMC Chimera may be leading the ult bank battle at the moment, but doesn't mean too much if you don't use them correctly.
I mean, where you want to be here in this final point position. You see Octo invest to that sound barrier. They're going to collapse on top of Galaxy. And now it is a surround and kill scenario here for EMC Chimera. As the point unlocks, they're going to get it first.
Yeah, that was a complete panic Terror Surge. I think must have taken the healing Terror Surge perk where you heal for 100 health per second in the ult. Very good perk in the moment, allows you to turn fights. Maybe took it there, maybe not, but not good enough regardless. EMC Chimera, they still have the grab. Ton Makita's close on the over at Protocol, and Psychoka has Tectonic Shock.
Yeah, and here is going to be this solo grab onto Izia, but they can't clean it up. If you're going to solo grab, you need to be able to clean that kill up, and now just scrambling is EMC Chimera. It's just the Zarya left. Ekash able to get rid of Monkek, but not much more than that, unfortunately.
Yeah, the grab from Ekash there leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't even know if it was supposed to be a solo grab because Izuya was on the other side of the wall. So Ekash had to walk into a very unfavorable position, basically leaving the entire choke open for SkyFlock to just maraud their way in, and so they do. And now they have 4 ults, and it's going to be a tall task for EMC Chimera. Octo really needs to get this beat built by the final fight.
He's going to see that override of Protocol, Kitsune Rush. Gonna see Izia sound barrier. Oh my goodness, just assassinating Imperator. Just need to get out as quickly as possible because you don't have much time left.
Yeah, Ton Makita does in fact get the wave, or no, Psychoka does get the wave with Ton Makita. Both DPS ults committed though, and Octo's not that much closer to this sound barrier, and SkyFlock has that Kitsune ready to go, and Indra on the flank here. Maybe he's looking for a cheeky pulse bomb early. Oh, it's not gonna land though.
Will not connect, but will be a little bit of a distraction. Not taking the bait here is the side of EMC Chimera. Indra at 10 HP, but the Kitsune Rush, too much to overcome for this Chimera squad. SkyFlock able to bring it home here on Suravasa. Now ahead at 2-0 like they wanted here, and now all of the pressure is on EMC to come back in this series.
Yeah, 2-0 down. It's not where you want to be in the losers bracket, but that map did look a little bit closer than Lijiang, right? Lijiang Garden, sure it was close. Lijiang Control Center, not so much. The 2-3 on Suravasa here, honestly, I thought this could have went EMC Chimera's way, but hero plays back, particularly Monkek and Galaxy as well, I would say. Both standouts there. Monkek did start on the Ash, went to the cast very, very early when he saw Psychoka. Kind of going crazy on the venture. Interesting to see. You don't see too much venture for at the moment. That boot from Octo was absolutely massive as well. Octo MVP in that fight, in my opinion. Just not enough to get EMC Chimera over the line though. Ton Makita, these Emrails, he's doing a lot with the Emray based kit, but it feels like the Emrails are not finding the value that I think he would hope they do, because it feels like oftentimes he's using them into losing fights, right? They're being used in fights that are doomed almost, right? He used it in the penultimate fight on that final point on Suravasa, and you can imagine if he had that ult, maybe it could have denied some of the value that Galaxy got from that Kitsune Rush, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. Ton Makita, unfortunate not to find more value with that Emray ult, as you see Galaxy here just stomping through with the Kitsune.
Alright. We come into this position down 2-0 for the side of EMC Chimera. You know, it's not like they're playing poorly. You know, they're not playing bad. You know, especially on that last map. It's just SkyFlock outpacing them just a little bit. That's putting them so far ahead. And now, we talked about it before the map. I'm going to talk about it after the map. This core, this, you know, that has so much experience together, Kokoton, Mikita, and Ikaj. A little bit of a different position they find themselves in. They're going to have to use that experience to come back, reverse sweep if they want to keep their season alive. For now, though, we're going to take it to a short break. When we come back, we'll see if EMC Chimera can keep themselves in the game or if SkyFlock will just fly away with this series. Alright, welcome back everybody. SkyFlock playing like the one seed we know they are. EMC not too far behind in terms of gameplay, but find themselves down 2-0 here in this elimination match. EMC Chimera, as I said before the break, they need to use their long storied history and experience to try and find a way to stay in this series because their season is on a one-map timer.
Yeah, they're on the edge right now, are EMC Chimera, but they do have the map picks to bring it back if they are able. as we do see that we're going to be heading over to Toronto, over to New Queen Street push map. And I'm glad that we've seen a hybrid or an escort yet. Hate those game modes. Love a good push map. But honestly, EMC Chimera, I think maybe there's a couple better maps you could have went to, because honestly, I was thinking this SkyFlock on the Diva, they wanted to play the Diva, but honestly, they look like they've struggled most on the Diva, it feels like. So maybe going for a bit more of a vertical map, bait them into playing the Diva, then just playing something else, I think could have been a good idea for EMC Chimera, but I don't know if SkyFlock will go for it on this kind of map. It can be quite flat, New Queen Street, so we're going to see what EMC Chimera are going to be going for in terms of bans at the moment. And I think there's a few directions they can go here, but personally, I'd be looking at banning out something personal at this point. Maybe the Tracer, maybe the Orisa, something like that.
The Tracer could be a good shout, right? It will be the Tracer here getting banned. I mean, they've had massive troubles with dealing with the little fly in their backline all series long, so not surprising to see a Tracer be dumped here in this map. SkyFlock now on the other side, pretty comfortable where they find themselves. Can't ban the Malga again. Not really sure where they go this time though.
I mean, you can't ban the Malga again, so again, I think I would look personal, right? Obviously, the Tracer ban by EMC Chimera, it protects the Venture, because I think Psychoka on the Venture was doing quite a lot. I think SkyFlock, you either ban out the Zarya and run the Diva, or you ban out something like the Kiriko, right? And just try mix things up a little bit. Obviously, if you're on the winning team, you might want to stick to the status quo, so I could see just more of either a random out there ban, a random out there support ban, or yeah, a Zarya ban. I think that makes sense, and I think that does imply that SkyFlock, they're going to keep running with this Diva, or potentially stick with that Orisa. And honestly, I don't hate either of those ideas. I do think that SkyFlock maybe got slightly better ban there, but that all depends on Indra's flexibility and what Indra will go to now that Tracer's out of the picture.
All right. Map number 3. EMC Chimera on the edge of elimination from the tournament. Need to give everything that they've got to stay here. Keep fighting.
No
headed in
stumble
to
here.
New Queen Street.
Again, look at the comps that they're running. EMC Chimera going for Junker Queen style comp, very typical rush, even with the Genji in there. Genji not as prevalent in the current meta. Some and most preferring options like Tracer or even the Pharah, some going for the Echo, some even going for the Anran over the Genji, which is insane considering how long Genji has been in the game. Tom Makita sticking with that Emre as Indra goes over to the Reaper due to that Tracer ban. Monkek sticking with the Ashe notably, which I think could maybe struggle if Monkek's positioning isn't perfect, to be honest, because EMC Chimera can run very, very quickly as the Lucio carry backlines are still a staple. Galaxy tries the Diva for the third time.
Alright, here we go. No Zarya to worry about this time. No Malga in play. See what they can figure out as Octo from the high ground, trying to get this healing going on to the Junker Queen, but it's going to be Ton Mikita opening up this first engagement. Indra coming through to blow Octo off of the face of the planet though. So now it will be a good position for SkyFlock to come through to find these cleanup kills and get the bot rolling.
Yeah, Junker Queen right now in the meta isn't actually the strongest, to be honest, in Indra. It's a cleaning house there with that dire triggers buff that Reaper got at the start of Season 2, but Junker Queen not the strongest at the moment. Very, very squishy, quite punishable, and we saw it there. Tries to take cover. Octo tried to use the Amp Imperator given all the care in the world, but it's not really enough. SkyFlock get a lead, and they get a bit of an ult lead as well. 82% of the way to the Death Blossom is Indra, and 63% to the way of the Kitsune is Eric.
Coming through Cause with the commanding shout, getting that Gracie blocked by the defense matrix, but again, facing the music of how squishy that Junker Queen actually is, and Monkek's shots just so true. Igniting 3 players, already has Bob. I mean, right now, this squad is just rolling in it. 4 ultimates ready to go as Ikaj giving up on the JQ.
Yeah, and I don't blame him, to be honest. I'm surprised EMC Chimera haven't tried the Mauga here, because Zarya is out of the picture, and that's what most people would go if there is a Mauga in play, particularly in solo queue environments. But Ikaj is almost out of mech again, or almost just down again. EMC Chimera, they do have a few ults to work with, but they are kind of outnumbered in that territory. 4 ults for SkyFlock at the moment, coming up on Azuya's beat as well. Octo does have a slight lead, but Eric gets to start with the Kitsune Rush.
Ton Mikita just blowing right through Eric with that 3-burst rifle. Reaper on the high ground. Psychoka just eviscerating Indra there. Not even giving them an opportunity, as they will start going back toward their own barrier.
Incredibly confident teleport there from Psychoka to TP right in front of Indra and then win the duel. It's gotta be a little confidence booster for Psychoka right now. As EMC Chimera, they do have a couple ults available. Kiriko's both use their Kitsune Rush, so there's no advantage either side. But generally speaking, the ults are kind of matched at the moment. Bob versus Override Protocol is the big question, and I think Override Protocol wins that battle.
Here we go, back over. Sound barrier in from Octo to keep it rolling. There will be a sound barrier from the other side, as well as a Bob. Ooh. See what else they can find. A Psychoka now looking absolutely maniacal on this Reaper. 2 picks for Psychoka here. Positioning not looking spectacular for the side. They see this Reaper's Wraith form gone as Psychoka and Ikaj good for a couple more picks, and they're finally going to get a proper push going here.
Not a terrible fight for a SkyFlock though. I mean, Octo's beat only actually hit him and Tom Makita, to my knowledge. So, not a clean fight at all for EMC Chimera, and they don't even make any progress. And you do DMAC Galaxy and get the remake out, which is something, but forces Ikaj's remake somehow as well. What? How did he get? He must have got hit by the bomb or something there. I don't actually know how that happened, but managed to force it out. TP on the spot for no reason, it seems. Like aura points, I suppose, for Psychoka right there. As SkyFlock and EMC Chimera both only have a Death Blossom to their name. Monkek is halfway to the Bob already. Eric is halfway to the Kitsune. Meanwhile, Imperator basically has it ready to go.
Oh! Beautifully done there by Monkek, as Indra is in the back line here looking for the picks. Will find one there to start it off, forcing EMC Chimera to run back to spawn. Just have to deny the close spawns.
These Lucio's doing a lot of work there. Azuya was just carrying Indra about with the speed boost, making his Reaper put on a ton of pressure, but Imperator drops the Kitsune, but look how easily this is kited by SkyFlock.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to push the barrier any further, right? They've got a very strong lead here. They have all that they need to just play super, super defensively here. Indra kind of in trouble here, getting the healing, and now Psychoka is the one in trouble, as they will be able to ward off this Reaper. And the Death Blossom comes through. 2 picks for the side of EMC Chimera, and a third if you want to count that Diva mech. And now I'm getting a little bit of deja vu here, as the Reapers will disengage from each other for the second time in about 30 seconds, really.
I saw the I saw Eric get his TP and Suzu Force, and I thought, yeah, this is a solo Blossom angle, and Psychoka does go for it. As Tom Makita is close to that Override Protocol again. Imperator halfway to another Kitsune, but Eric has his right to go. 3 ults available for SkyFlock. Indra close on the Blossom as well, but DMEC already for Ikaj.
Alright, here we go. Yep, some nice picks coming through for the side of EMC Chimera. Is that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate placement for the remake.
I mean, the fight seems to have already been won for the most part. Galaxy does find one on the way out, as I'm happy to be wrong here, not for the sake of EMC Chimera, but Monkek and Galaxy have just continued to just click.
Monkek is going absolutely crazy on this Ashe at the moment. The aim is just perfect. The no scope into the scoped headshot there was really clean onto Tom Makita, just so much damage onto the enemy hit scanners. Both hit scanners do have their ultimates, Bob versus Override Protocol yet again, but Octo has the beat. There's a small beat advantage for EMC Chimera if they have the initiative to use it.
Here is that Override Protocol, not hardly connecting onto really anything. One more heavy shot goes through, but just will not connect. I mean, that's kind of been the story of the series for Tom Mikita, unfortunately. Great. Yeah, sound barrier coming out from Octo to try and keep them in this fight, but burning right now. Eric with a well-placed headshot, and I mean, Monkek just continues to be a force of nature on this Ash.
Yeah, someone needs to check out Monkek or something. This is absolutely outrageous. I mean, Imperator's had to Suzu in spawn. That's how bad it's getting for EMC Chimera versus Monkek at the moment. Saikoka going to be burning as Imperator does have the Kitsune Rush available.
Alright, Saikoka getting rid of Galaxy, getting rid of Endra there as well. As the Death Blossom ready to go, should it be so desired, but Monkek successfully warding off another offensive there from Saikoka.
This Ash is just actually doing so much, but the Reapers on both teams are doing a lot as well. Saikoka has the Blossom pretty much ready to go, but nothing else really close for EMC Chimera aside from the remake from Ikaj. Eric close on the Kitsune, and that could be the difference maker in this fight.
Alright, only a minute 40 left for EMC to get back into this map. Ults coming online here very soon for both squads. Kitsune Rush is the first to be used. Self-destruct to try and get back into the mech. Death Blossom from Saikoka will not connect, unfortunately. Able to ward themselves away from that self-destruct of Ikaj. Stay in the fight on Mikita. Now on the Ash, will be chased down, and with only, 70 seconds or so on this clock, EMC Chimera, they're in dire straits here, man.
Ikaj does get a couple of exit kills though, so the bot is not going to go too far as Octo is going to be there to stop it, but I feel like that fight kind of exemplifies the difference between these two teams at the moment. EMC Chimera should have seen that Kitsune Rush coming, but they don't bother to kite it. You need to have AMP available to get in and get out of those engagements, and they should know that Eric has that Kitsune Rush. But now we're back to the beats being mirrored. Indra close on the Blossom, Monkek and Todd Makita, who has swapped to the Ash, both getting close to their bobs, but importantly, Galaxy has a free remake as he gets a kill on Saikoka before the fight even starts.
Okay, back in, Galaxy finding the pick there on to Saikoka. And now, I mean, Ikaj is also just in an awful position as, I mean, it's just all SkyFlock right now. No Wraith form for Indra to get away, but man, the damage has been done already. They're even building their lead a little bit, almost at triple digits. Will break through that, and with no time on the clock, SkyFlock will fly high in this elimination game, sending EMC Chimera home. Their season is over. SkyFlocks will continue.
Yeah, confident 3-0 by SkyFlock, and that's what you want. Getting knocked to the losers bracket in the first round, you want a confident way out. And that exemplified right. 3-0. Surabasa did look a little bit dicey, and so did the start of Lijiang, but Control Center and New Queen Street in particular, very confident win for SkyFlock, and they'll be happy carrying that into their game against, I believe it would be, Cartel, and then potentially a rematch against OCMR should they take down a Void List in Losers Round 2. We get a look at the scoreboard, and look, it is just obvious who wins this game, right? Galaxy going 28-3 on that D.Va, finally having that good experience on D.Va that he's been looking for all series. But Monkek, though, has to be my star of the show, right? Every map pulled up and shown up for SkyFlock, coming in crazy on numerous different hit scans on the Soj, on Lijiang, the Cassidy on Sarabasa, now the Ash on New Queen Street. Star player for SkyFlock today. Very well done to him and the rest of the team. Commiserations to EMC Chimera, of course, but it's not like it was a complete stomp at all, because like I said, Sarabasa, very, very, very close. 2-3 could have went either way, if I'm being honest.
I mean, and frankly, Lijiang Tower was closer than the score might suggest, too, especially on that first submap. But
definitely.
I mean, this EMC Chimera squad was just like a step behind SkyFlock the whole series, right? It's not like this was a blowout 3-0 matchup that you're used to seeing. SkyFlock, or rather EMC, they really did fight. They really did fight for their spot here in this series. Unfortunately, that step was all SkyFlock needed throughout these first 3 maps. It never felt like they found an identity, unfortunately, throughout this series for EMC. The Malga was what they clearly wanted to do, and unfortunately, SkyFlock were just not having any of that on the Malga comp of their own. And then coming into that final map, it was just kind of a lost cause at that point, because the Junker Queen that they wanted it to roll out on just never found anything, and then they switched over to the Diva, which is what SkyFlock wanted to do, finally making their Diva composition work. So, I mean, EMC, while, you know, the individual play was absolutely there for the most part, just the team identity was not, and I think that was enough to put SkyFlock ahead at all times.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There was like a bit of a lack of identity, right? Because Maga comp and like a Junker Queen comp, they're obviously different, but in a lot of ways they can be quite similar in the way that you want to just kind of rush down your opponent, right? You're playing brawly characters, but you're not front to back brawling in the front line, right? Maybe Maga is shooting the enemy, tagging a bunch, but the end goal of the comp is to stomp onto the backline and put tons of pressure on to the backline once you force the Suzu in the front line, right? And it felt like if you're comfortable playing the Maga, which you clearly want to do based on the fact that you started on it, I feel like you should just run the Maga instead of the JQ, right? Maga is unequivocally better than Junker Queen at the moment. Junker Queen, one of the weaker tanks in the game, I would say personally, especially when there's Kiriko's online. If you want to run the Junker Queen, ban the Kiriko and try something new, right? Sure, they could just go Zarya, but at least you have a free Rampage. At least there's not as many get out of jail free cards for the Kiriko and their teammates. But I don't know, I definitely agree. There was not really a solidified identity or comp that you think, okay, EMC Chimera, they're going to run this on this map, they're going to play this. It felt like they were just struggling, and they felt like they were just looking for a different thing every single time, and none of it really ended up seeming to have worked.
Unfortunately, this is where their season comes to an end. SkyFlock staying alive in this lower bracket. We are going to take it to a short break here, and when we come back, I believe we're going to have some interviews to have some insight into how the series go. We're actually going to get an exit interview from EMC as well, so stick around for that. We will be right back in just a few minutes.
Memories. Memories.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We've got a representative here from our victors today, SkyFlock's Izuya. Izuya, y'all find a way to win here tonight. After being sent down to the lower bracket so early, how does it feel to get that vindication, to get this lower bracket run started?
Oh, so me and the team are really happy to get this victory, and we want to keep that up until the final, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty confident win today, obviously, going down to the lower bracket 3-2 or 2-3 versus OCMR. You have a potential rematch coming up against them should they beat a Void List and should you guys beat Cartel. Do you think that's on the cards, or how confident are you going into the match against Cartel, and do you think you'll eventually get that rematch with OCMR?
Yeah, we are pretty confident. Last time we played Cartel in the regular season, we beat them, so I think we can do it again. No problem.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I saw that you beat them, was it 3-0? So I imagine it was quite a confident win for you guys. But more on today's game, pretty, I would say, confident 3-0. Suravasa did look a little bit closer, though. So why do you think Suravasa was a little bit closer than perhaps New Queen Street or Lijiang?
I think it's because we tried to do too much, like me and Indra and Tracer and Lucio, we tried to do too much flanking maybe. We tried to go for like easy kills on the backline and didn't really work out. So we had to come back on the default composition, like how we play it, just speed boost Galaxy around the map. And yeah, that's the problem, we identify it like quickly, so we can easily deal with it.
And I had one more question about this series today, Izuya. We kind of noticed that early on in the series, you know, those first two maps, y'all wanted to play the D.Va, who, you know, considered one of the better tanks in the game right now, but it didn't really seem to work out all that well until map number 3. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what happened, like, why were the D.Va comps, you know, falling a little bit short early in the series, and what kind of made it click for y'all to switch over to the compositions that y'all did?
Maybe we just think like the comp they played, obviously on Suravasa they play Zarya, so it's not really easy to play D.Va against that. And on first map, the Moga don't make it easy either, so we had to adapt and stuff. So it's something we do like in game. We just not even talk about it. I think Galaxy do it on his own because he always knows what's best.
Alright, well, congratulations again on the win here tonight for y'all, SkyFlock. Before we send you away here, Izuya, is there anything you'd like to bring up that maybe we did not, or any shoutouts that you would like to make?
Yeah, sure. I have a shout out to make for my friend Control. This guy is the GOAT. So yeah, and that's it.
Alright, well, Izuya, we wish y'all the best of luck running it through this lower bracket.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, and now we will bring in our little guinea pig here, our camera guinea pig, to give us an exit interview for the side of EMC Chimera. We have Octo on the mic now. Octo, unfortunate way for the season to end, but a strong fight. Uh-oh. That's not good.
We have lost
I'm
contact.
gone.
Oh,
You're here though, yeah?
you can hear us,
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, okay. All right. Yeah. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on how y'all played today. You know, how are y'all feeling right now?
Like, we're kind of happy with the results, considering how strong of a team SkyFlock is and has been. Like, the players are really good, so we didn't really expect much going into this. Like, we just like didn't think we would win. So like any kind of damage we did this series made us like really happy, considering like all the factors. So yeah, really happy.
Yeah, definitely. I think you guys have a lot to be happy about, to be honest, because it was a 3-0, but maps like Suravasa, I mentioned it with Azuya, Suravasa was really, really close, and to be honest, it could have went either way. I got Azuya's take on it, but what do you think? What is your take on it? Why do you think Suravasa was so close? How do you think you did so much damage to them on that map specifically?
I think our comp was pretty good, and because they played D.Va, right, and we played Venture Zarya, so it's like easier to play into that and just like find like a quick engage and also sustain more than a D.Va can. So it kind of shuts that off. So I think we played those fights, the fights we did win, I think we played them really well, also mechanically, and that just led to like us winning 2 points. Like the points we won felt pretty nice to win. On the other points we lost, we kind of lost in the sauce, to be honest. Like, I'm not really happy about that. So kind of makes sense they won. So I think that's why this map was particularly close.
Yeah, Lijiang was, or not Lijiang, sorry, Suravasa was really close, but the season as a whole, obviously the tournament run is ending here, but season as a whole, are you proud of how you guys have done throughout the entire season, including the regular season? How do you think it was for you guys, the whole tournament experience?
Yeah, I think it was fine. It was kind of hard to gauge like the level of teams, because like when you play, you don't even play like half the teams, so then you only meet like the really strong teams at the very end in the playoffs. So like we won, and like there were a few forfeits, which like also made it hard to get playtime in this tournament. Like we take the wins, but it's like a bit unfortunate to not play. Like find out how good we are compared to the other teams that we don't know, right? But I'm like we're happy we finished like pretty high in our group. We had a sub coming in for the last few matches, also in GM tier, because our flag support is on vacation right now, so it kind of was a challenge as well, getting that going. But overall, like I can't complain. It's a fine season for what it is. I'm also like I wasn't on the team last 3 seasons, so that as well. Like for what it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the fight that y'all had in this series. I do genuinely believe that this EMC Chimera squad has it in them to become truly competitive in these series, and you know we saw moments of it here tonight, Octo. But before we send you out to go, you know, get ready, get prepared for the next season, are there any shout outs you'd like to make, or you know anything that you'd like to bring up that maybe we did not?
Yeah, shout out my team, obviously. Saikoka, Ekash, Don Mikita, Imperator, and DBRX, all great guys. I like playing with them. And they always like outplay the mistakes I do when I play. So it kind of always feels nice to play with them. And yeah, shout out our bench, support staff, MCG, Sky Commander. Yeah, shout out to the whole project EMC.
Alright, well, unfortunately, this is where the season ends, but a well-fought one it was indeed. Octo, thank you for coming to talk to us, and we wish you the best of luck going into the future.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Alright, Sky Knight. That is going to do it here for the EU side this afternoon, this evening, I guess, for y'all over there. 3-0 for SkyFlock here, getting the dominant win over EMC Chimera. We'll move on to play Cartel in that lower bracket. We'll get a quick look at the bracket as well to see how it's shaping up. We do have our winners finals coming up soon as well. Lightning versus T4 Demon should be a lot of fun. SkyFlock obviously have got a fire under them, looking to, you know, potentially get that revenge on OCMR in lower round 3 and move all the way through this lower bracket to bring it back to the grand finals.
Yeah, the lower bracket run is definitely there for SkyFlock, provided they can get past Cartel, which Azuya seemed quite confident they can, and I'm quite confident they can as well, given that the last game against them was a 3-0. The game against OCMR will be a check, or potentially a void list, depends who gets the better of who in that matchup. But I'm probably going to give it to OCMR, considering Cartel beat a void list 3-0. OCMR beat SkyFlock, and SkyFlock can beat Cartel. It's like a hierarchy on its way down, but of course that's not how it works. We could see a bit of an upset from a void list, but I'm probably looking at a round 3 rematch between these two teams, and honestly, I think it'll be one to watch in the future.
Yeah, a lot of Overwatch still to be played in this playoff, but not done yet today. Emerald Eagles, EIG Assassins, Team Prosperous, Monolith later tonight on the NA side. A couple more games here tonight. Unfortunately for the EU side, that's going to do it for today. Looking forward to seeing how those other two teams roll out. I mean, Emerald Eagles is a club team of my university, the University of North Texas. So obviously, you know, I'm not casting that game, but I am rooting for them. Always nice to see the hometown team represent. But Sky Knight, before we head out here, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Not overly. Just congratulations to SkyFlock. Commiserations to EMC Chimera. Good luck to the teams playing later tonight in America, and good luck to the rest of the teams in the tournament.
All right. So that will do it for us here on the EU side. Thank you all for watching, and we will see y'all on the other side of the pond tonight.